Let's move on now to the usually quiet town of Klipvalley in the city of Joburg's far western region. There is political party regalia everywhere there today. Residents are voting in a by-election. The poll came about after the murder of the local councillor Ntaoleng Mpho Mofokeng in March. Tumaole Mohlaoli there for us. Tumaole, good afternoon to you. What are people saying there today?
Well, it certainly is quite a festive mood out here along the voting stations here in Ward 53. And I can tell you that festive is the mood because people are obviously still very perturbed and shaken by the murder of the local councillor here. But the political parties certainly are out in full force saying that his death should not have been in vain, and they are coming out to address what are pressing issues here in this particular ward. I'm joined now by the ActionSA leader, Herman Mashaba. Dr. Mashaba, your presence here as ActionSA in terms of your standing in the ward, would you say that you have a chance of actually capturing it?
Well, without any doubt, a very, very good chance. I think for us as ActionSA, we took a decision which we declared to South Africans that we will, since the local government elections, that we will only contest in wards where we believe there's a good chance of us winning. And I think this one in particular, if one looks at this particular graph, we see how we performed. We performed at the time, remember, as a local IEC, not actually putting our name. Now we've got our name on. We've got a very strong candidate by name of Dudu Ngobeni, excellent community worker, took it from her father. So we believe we stand a very, very good chance. We've given it all our best. We'll see, obviously, at after 9 o'clock when the results are counted.
Right, and when the results are counted, one of the issues that the voters will be looking for your candidate, Dudu Ngobeni, to address will be the issues of youth unemployment. Crime seems to be a problem in the area, but unemployment specifically, there are lots of mining activities here, and many of the community members feel that the mines should do a lot more to try and empower the communities, especially the youth and women and people with disabilities. Are you going to take that on? Because the mines have got quite a lot of financial muscle, and people think that political parties are intimidated by that.
Well, you know, if for us as South Africans, we must not really be myopic to really look at our challenge from a narrow point of view. Our problem is much bigger. If you look at our labor laws since 1994, unfortunately, we've destroyed job opportunities. We drove away investors, local and international investors. We came out with discriminatory laws that made it difficult for people who are not cadres to really be employed in the public service, so that South Africa can have a professional public service. But one thing also that is really quite disturbing, we then let our borders wide open. The only country in the world where we let everyone come in without obviously really checking whether these people are coming to add value to our country or not. And as a ActionSA, we've been really very clear from the time when I was the mayor, making it very clear that South Africa was built at the back of migrants, and it is something that we need to continue doing. But however, our constitution makes it really very clear that immigration must be controlled. We can't have open borders where everybody comes into this country, because then what happens? Who suffers? Our poor communities like here. If you look at what we've done to the mining industry in terms of the Department of Minerals and Energy, not really taking this industry seriously. And unfortunately, countries like Australia, Canada, they've taken advantage of the weaknesses of policy uncertainty in South Africa. So I think we need to really look at this from a global point of view. It's not something that can be addressed by the municipality. It's a national thing. 2024, it's around the corner. However, I'm saying is, yes, let's start at local government level, hold the government accountable, make sure that, I think one thing that ActionSA has really successfully done, we've actually changed the landscape of the political environment in South Africa. From last year with the local government election, this is the second by-election we are contesting. And look at the activity. People have never seen a by-election the second time around. People coming out in big numbers, enthusiastic, people wanting to really change the political direction of the country.
And very quickly, lastly, talking exactly on the issue of the economic situation in the country, particularly when it comes to the mining situation and the border controls, the issue of the Zamazamas and the turf wars that have caused a lot of insecurity in the region, whereby you have illegal miners from countries like Lesotho battling illegal miners from countries like Mozambique, heavily armed and very ruthless. How can this be addressed when it seems as if the law enforcement is failing?
Well, you know, it's actually quite sad and hurting, because this is the matter that I addressed when I was the executive mayor of the city of Johannesburg, calling on national government to say, please do something about this, because firstly, you are actually depriving us of South Africa of our own minerals. But secondly, these are very dangerous people, killing one another on the ground. But also, very importantly, and I think that's something that I actually reported, is around the safety of our people. Because as these people are mining underground, some of the instances, they are actually mining next to the petrol and gas pipes, that one day South Africa can see a disaster that the world has never seen before. Why our national government is actually ignoring this is beyond imagination. But you know what? We have really accepted that this government is not interested. We will address this matter in 2024.
Thank you very much. So that was, of course, ActionSA leader Herman Mashaba giving us his party's message to voters as they come through for this by-election. And I can tell you that the voting queues are quite long here in the voting stations, Stephen.